after all my years of doing political advertising, to introduce somebody who is really unique. I mean, really. I've done this since the early days of Lou Murphy, and if I had to order someone up from Central Casting to give Raul Grijalva a pink slip, it couldn't be better than our Gabby. Gabby here we have a Hispanic woman who came here to this country from Mazatlan and Tijuana, legally, 1986, legally. 5 years later, she became a full-blown, real citizen, knows the ropes, knows the Constitution, and she may not look it, but she really has huevos, too, I have to say.
Yes, she does.
She's been married to Ted for almost 25 years, has a daughter in the Marine Corps. I mean, everything about Gabby is perfect. She's perfectly bilingual. She's going to win this thing, and I want you to hear her right now. Here's Gabby.
Well, he kind of stole my thunder. I was not going to tell you that I have huevos, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Gabriela Salcedo Mercer. You all can call me Gabby because it's easier for you to pronounce my name. I was born and raised in Mexico. I came to the United States in 1986 because he brought me over legally. It's all his fault. Like Rick said, it took me 5 years of preparation, testing, and waiting to become an American citizen. On July 3rd, 1991, I was sworn in as a new naturalized American citizen. And I am very proud to say that I am an American. As you notice in my literature, I do not hyphenate my name, and I do not hyphenate my nationality. I am an American. A little bit about my background. Everybody wants to know what has Gabby been doing since she came to the United States. When I came here, I was working in the defense industry as a quality control inspector in the electronics division. Just inspecting hardware for Cubic Corporation. That was the company that I worked for. We used to do work for Hughes, Boeing Corporation, all kinds of military type contracts. So that's why we say defense industry. One of the things that I took pride on when I was an inspector, nothing was going to pass by me that did not meet the quality control standards. And I always got in trouble because I was a tough inspector. One time my supervisor came over and whacked me over the head with a set of blueprints because I was just following the rules. And she said, "You're too tough, that could have passed. We gotta miss the shipment. If it's not good, I'm not gonna put my stamp." So going back to kind of like that is what inspired me to run for office. Washington is out of control, and we need to put some quality control in there. Now, I can tell you all kinds of bad things about my opponent, the boycotter, Grijalva, but you all know how bad he is. He's against jobs, he's against values, the values that I stand for. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to let him show himself because he has so far. When he called for the boycott, it cost Arizona 27,000 jobs. He's supposed to be representing the people of Arizona. And what he does not agree with a law, and instead of fixing it from Washington, D.C., he's been there for 9 years, and he has done nothing about immigration reform. And I am not talking about amnesty. Yes, our immigration needs some fixing, but you're not going to fix it by calling a boycott for your state that you're supposed to be representing. So that was one thing that got me really fired up about giving him his pink slip one of these days. And pretty soon it's 14 months. I'm counting the days. Rick also shared with you that my daughter, my oldest one, she's a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. She has served both in Iraq and Afghanistan. She just got back in March, 11 months tour of duty. Everybody asked me, how can you handle that? You must be a wreck. No, I trust that God was going to protect her, and she came back in one piece, and I'm very proud of her. I also have two sons. One of them graduated from the U of A. He's my wildcat. He graduated from the Eller School of Business. And I have to say it again, because of Grijalva's boycott, he couldn't find a job here, so he had to move to San Diego. Like, oh, it's a tough life in San Diego. The thing that I like about that is that I have a place to crash when I go visit San Diego. And I have my youngest son, Steven. He lives in San Antonio, Texas, and almost 2 years ago he made me a grandmother. Yes, I am a grandmother. And he's the one that gave me all this gray hair too. Anyway, one of the reasons that this is personal for me, that I'm challenging Grijalva. The boycott, yes. One of the main things is that Grijalva was born in this country, and he has no regard for our country. In 2004, while our Marines and our soldiers were in Afghanistan and Iraq, Grijalva gave a congressional letter to Code Pink to allow this. Anybody knows what Code Pink is? Those crazy women that dress in pink. And they're against the war. And they want to make citizens arrest, and they're just nuts. Well, Grijalva, along with 3 other members of Congress and the Senate, gave Code Pink a congressional letter to allow them to travel to a war zone. And this crazy woman, they had raised $600,000, and they brought aid and comfort to the enemy. I don't know if you know, but the Constitution says that is treason. And nobody's holding him accountable for that. Well, I will. And I will call him by what he is. He's a devout Marxist. When I was applying for my citizenship, in my application, at least in 4 or 5 different places, they asked me, have you ever belonged to the Communist Party? Have you ever voted for the Communist Party? Like, wow, they don't like communism in this country. I love them. In Mexico, we have been fighting communism for a long, long time. They haven't been successful as much as they have in other countries. But people, we have communism in this country. And we must wake up. I was talking to some folks here about the Tea Party. The Tea Party woke me up, and let me set the record straight. The Tea Party is not a political party. It's a populist movement that are standing out for what is right and riding up our feathers and telling the government, no more. You are out of control. And Washington is out of control, runaway spending. Everything that the government does is against our freedoms. And I am sick and tired. We are losing our country, and I want my country back. I don't know about you, but it infuriates me when I hear Barack Hussein Obama apologize for our country. I just want to reach out and slap him, but I can't through the TV. What is it about these men? This is our country. We are the most charitable country in the world. Every time something happens in the world, whether it's a natural disaster or somebody gets invaded by the crazy terrorists, who's there first? We are. But Barack Hussein Obama goes around apologizing for what we do. Enough. Enough is enough. And my opponent, he votes across the line with Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid. We need to get our country back. I vow to work hard to bring back what we've lost in America, which is a sense of patriotism. We need to bring that to schools. And don't get me started on schools, especially here in Tucson, about La Raza studies. That is treason, people. And we need to stop it. We have been exposing all the fronts that we are supposed to be fighting, the terrorists, the indoctrination of our children. All those things, we need to expose them. Like the Tea Party has woken everybody up. We need to get involved and we need to get these people out of office. I'm just one person, and I am committed to go against Raul Grijalva. People talk about what about the redistricting? What about the redistricting? I don't care where the lines end up. If for any reason I end up outside of the District 7 or whatever district is going to be, I am challenging Grijalva, and my husband already gave me permission to move if we have to. So I'm very excited about all of you showing up here tonight. Some of you already know. Some of you, first time that I met you. One of the things, that people say, well, what is your political background? I do not have a political resume. I am not a career politician, and I do not intend to be one. Our founding fathers, they used to be farmers, doctors, attorneys, pharmacists. They used to be business people. They went to New York, because at that time they used to run the country's business in New York. They used to go there, run their business, run the government business, and then go back to their homes to do whatever they were supposed to do. They never intended for politicians to become career politicians. And it is a shame that we have allowed that to happen in our country. Washington is broken, and it needs some quality control. And I want to bring that to Washington. And I know I'm going to be one of 435 congresspeople there. But my plan is to align myself with the people that agree with me and that are willing to fight, and maybe find some that have some huevos. That is what we need in Washington. We need our politicians that love our country, that are willing to stand and fight for the Constitution. The Constitution is not a living document. To me, it's a sacred document. If I go back and if I compare the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Mexico, and how in Mexico people have lost a lot of their freedoms, I don't have any other country that I want to go to. I'm here and I'm willing to fight for our wonderful Constitution.